Attention maggots, this is Sergeant Slaughter from WWE and G.I. Joe, the real American hero. You're listening to Mega Power Radio. Don't touch that dial. And that's an order.
Shut up.
What's shaking, Mega Maniacs? It is Monday, July 20th, and we just finished watching tonight's edition of Raw, and it's time for us to gather for the Monday night tradition here on Mega Powers Radio, the Raw post-show, the most interactive post-Raw experience. We want to get all of you out there listening, have your opinions involved, tell you a little bit how you can get that in there after just a moment, but first, a little bit of messages I want to put out there to you. If this is your first time listening, of course, you can get involved all throughout the show, but if you want to continue supporting us throughout the week, the number one way to do that is to find us on Patreon. Patreon.com/MegaPowersRadio is the place to go, and for as little as $1, you can help keep the lights on here at Mega Powers Radio Studios to keep bringing you awesome programs like this one, the Daceman Show, the All Talk Show, and anything else on our lineup. You can also support us by finding us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and all those other places podcasts can be found. Subscribe, rate, review, help other people find us, because those things put us higher on the charts when you follow us and give us positive messages on there. Or not positive. Do whatever you actually want. Preferably positive. And of course, invite all your friends to join us here live on Mega Powers Radio or listening to us through those other means. And if you are listening live, that's the best way to do it because you can get involved throughout the show. And if you want to do that tonight, we are going to be opening up the phone lines to those who want to call in and actually have your voice heard. If you want to do that, dial in. We already got tons of callers in there, actually. So if you want to get on, sooner you call, the sooner you're likely to get on. The number to dial to put yourself in queue, 760-512-7247. That's 760-512-7247. You can also join us via Skype if you want to press the Skype icon at the top of the broadcast page there, or if you're shy, lots of other ways to get involved without actually talking. We have a chat room scrolling. Shout outs to the folks who got here nice and early. Ferris419, Chaotic, Silent Wind of Doom. And of course, you could tweet to us at Raw Post Show, the Facebook group, The Mega Maniacs. Just search for that on Facebook. Should be pretty easy to find. Always tons of ways to get involved. We want to hear what y'all got to say about tonight's show, which was pretty cool show, I would say. It has its ups and downs. Of course, the big story everyone talking about has got to be Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. Confirmed for SummerSlam, we're having the rematch from WrestleMania 30. If you had told someone right away, I don't think anybody would have been too excited for this. But the reaction for this has been absolutely explosive. It's just been so much fun to have watched this unfold over the last couple of nights. Very stoked to talk about it. But first, let me introduce the rest of the hosts that we have here. First off with me is the leader of the Drew crew, and his name is Drew White. Drew?
You know that awkward moment when you mute your mic and it just ruins introductions. Hey guys, what's up?
All right. And also with us, the Wago Maniac, Mr. Stephen Wago.
Yeah, I don't know if I can fit that one. That's a bit of a weird nickname, but I'm here.
He's here, folks.
It's like Tasmaniac, but with the Wagos.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I always like to start off the conversation here. What's the number one thing you took away from this show tonight? Wago, what's it for you?
I'm a fucking sucker for The Undertaker. He's old. He's shriveled. He's not that good anymore. He's fat now, and he's got some awkward balding spot. Yet I fucking ate it like candy.
He's got an awkward balding spot, yet for some reason he's grown an excessive amount of hair all over his shoulders and back.
Yeah, I know. He had that weird old man hair back at fucking Battleground last night.
Yet his hair is miraculously black.
He's got that Kevin Nash part in him, I guess.
Well, Drew, what did you take away tonight?
The main thing I took away from, aside from The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, situation, it's probably the might just be that that veterans will probably carry SummerSlam, and that the main event for the most part will be the veterans in charge. So that's really what I took away from the show.
Well, that's it's been the MMO for the MMO, the MO for SummerSlam for quite some time. Oh man, a SummerSlam MMO would be awesome. Just imagine that, like you're all like different wrestlers competing on a SummerSlam card. You all had to like travel around the country and support your brand. Fuck, they got these wrestling simulators. Let's just take it one step further. No, okay. So that's been the MMO for some... I just said it again. God damn it. The MO for SummerSlam for quite some time has been sort of the WrestleMania of the summer. They make these big-time matches, and they try to have lots of celebrity involvement. In fact, I think I see more celebrity involvement for SummerSlam than I do for WrestleMania anymore. I think one of the big rumors, of course, is Stephen Amell. But go ahead, Drew.
No, the main reason why that is because, it was in Los Angeles for the past number of years, city of the celebrities, so it made sense that they would have a lot of the big names come out of there for that.
I also think they try harder with SummerSlam because they're trying to get it over as a second WrestleMania. WrestleMania sells itself now, so they've only got to put like a good couple names on the card, and they're set with that. SummerSlam, they really have to get behind from a promotional standpoint. I actually feel like the last couple of SummerSlams have been promoted more heavy than WrestleMania have.
You're not wrong. I mean, they gave SummerSlam its own access festival. And they've had it consistently from Los Angeles, as Drew said, for I think it was like 7 or 8 years. They stayed in that same city. This is the first time they're getting away from it, and they're going to New York, which is, home city for the WWE. So it's a big deal. It's actually good. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Yeah, I'm pumped for it. I love New York as a city, and I think it's a better setting for it. The SummerSlam crowds have sometimes been a little on the mild side, so I think overall, especially with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar headlining the card, it's going to be a fun event.
They're doing some really cool things with this New York City run, too. They're actually doing 3 nights in the Barclays Center. On Saturday night, they're doing NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, which I am very fortunate to have picked up tickets for. I am super stoked, and I will be keeping you all updated as things get closer with that. Sunday is, of course, SummerSlam, and then Monday they're doing Raw. So 3 nights in the same building. I'm sure that the touring crew is happy for that, and even the wrestlers, too. They get to just stay in the same hotel in New York City, which, as I said, big time for them.
I think the most interesting thing out of all that, other than the SummerSlam, it's definitely going to be the NXT takeover thing, which you're lucky enough to go to. I think it's awesome that they're leaving Full Sail for that. But out of that, just seems like it'll be the most interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they go with the show, or if it'll be 3 hours or just a 2-hour thing. Because, bigger arena, maybe they'll up everything as well. But I think that's going to be the most interesting part of that whole weekend. I didn't even know that they were holding the Barclays for Raw as well. So that's actually, it's not every day they do 3 days in a row at the same arena.
I'm curious what they're going to do with the staging. Like, if they're just going to make one really awesome stage and just use it for all 3 nights. I mean, they're all like interchangeable because they just, change whatever's on the screen. So if they just want to make one big awesome thing, I mean, half these damn pay-per-view sets look just like the Raw one anyway.
Yeah, SummerSlam is the Raw one. The only thing they do differently is that the ramp is they give a little Hollywood look for it, but since they're in New York, they might do a little differently with that now.
The weird thing about that Brooklyn card for NXT, the one match I'm actually excited for is to see Liger versus fucking Brie of all things.
Oh, I'm stoked for that. I mean, what a weird set of circumstances that's led to this. Or just the whole situation, I should say, not the circumstances, but like Jushin Thunder Liger, a legend. We've seen him in America before in WCW. I think he did some time in ECW too, but of course in Japan, one of the bigger names over there. And this is his first time ever wrestling in the WWE, and it's going to be an NXT event. Like, how did they even want to line that up? I think William Regal had something to do with that, but what an odd situation.
I think they might have just finished the deal over when they were already in Japan for the 4th of July.
And I think he's actually a New Japan guy still.
He is. Yeah. I don't think he's under an exclusive contract, and that actually makes something very interesting about that night, because Ring of Honor, whenever WWE is in town or whenever they're having a big show, really, they tend to book shows in the same area on the same weekend, and they did a show Saturday night as well, which is going on at the very same time as NXT's TakeOver. And Ring of Honor, of course, uses a lot of New Japan talent, the Bullet Club and other folks.
Yeah, they brought Tanahashi over a few times too.
That what's that guy? Naka never wrestled for WWE.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, he's gonna be there as well. So I don't know if that's a conflict of interest. I don't know if maybe WWE has finally secured something with New Japan, because something I thought was really interesting during that Beast in the East pay-per-view, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this. We never did a formal review of it, so I never got to point this out, but they were really heavy on acknowledging Japanese wrestling history.
Especially, I mean, for starters, they were calling Finn Prince Devitt and was going all over his fucking history.
And they were talking about the history of the Sumo House, and they were talking about New Japan and even FMW. I couldn't believe when they mentioned FMW.
It makes me wonder if something is in the works, and I know a lot of people don't know too much about New Japan wrestling, so if they did do some type of crossover, a lot of people wouldn't care, but for certain guys, there's going to be a few mark-out matches, even if it's on NXT.
All right. Well,
yeah, this is a bigger opportunity for New Japan than it is for WWE in a standpoint. It gives New Japan more promotional, and it gets them more exposure if they do knock some type of deal where they send people over and that kind of stuff.
It's kind of funny that we got into this, guys. We should turn to Undertaker and Brock Lesnar for a second.
Yeah,
but I just
Brock
Lesnar. Just want to remind everyone out there, though, if you want to talk about what's going down, if you want to talk about NXT, if you want to talk about Raw tonight, hopefully you got a lot about there to say about that. Be sure to use all those means I said before. I'm going to be opening up those phone lines in just a few minutes. Again, the number to dial, area code 760-512-7247. Just want to pull a couple comments that we got here. First off, from Twitter, we got our good friend Dane Quinn tweeting at Raw Post Show. That was the worst ending to a Raw ever. Strong words. Do you guys agree?
I didn't appreciate it.
You know what? I think possibly the worst Raw ending ever was the last Raw we had to WrestleMania this year, where it just ended with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns doing like the tug of war with the title. That was horrendous. We're
going to get into it, I'm sure, but I actually really fucking liked the ending of tonight's show.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I got something I want to pull out of the chat room here, too. Silent Wind of Doom saying when The Undertaker showed up last night. Not going to lie, when he showed up and I saw his face, all I saw was Bill Murray in eyeshadow. Bill fucking Murray! Okay. Brock Lesnar Undertaker, guys. The rumors were out there, so it was one of the worst kept secrets, but I still think it's a surprise for the Undertaker to show up randomly now, as he's only really been doing the WrestleMania appearances the last number of years. And to come out to Brock Lesnar now, after he seemed like he already moved on and he did the match with Bray Wyatt, and they did some good explanation to it, like saying that Paul Heyman just kept bragging over and over and over. Show actually started tonight with The Undertaker, which I can't remember the last time a Raw started with The Undertaker, so that was a pleasant surprise. Crowd loved it. Undertaker came out and did one of his usual speeches, talking really low and grovelly. Makes a lot of dead man puns, and does what he can to build up that match with Brock Lesnar, which is a lot more than he did for his match with Bray Wyatt this year. So good to see. Paul Heyman made an appearance as well. He also did a lot of his same shtick, but he actually had one moment, though, where he just basically had a conniption. He's like, I'm going to make this personal. My client beat your streak. And just absolutely flipped out, got all bug-eyed.
Told him his fucking ass belongs to Brock Lesnar. That line was sweet as hell.
Really, really good. This prompted the gong to sound. Undertaker appeared in the ring, backed Paul Heyman into a corner. Brock Lesnar charges down, and so begins this epic battle of fists that Triple H, the whole night he was worried that this was going to happen, and he was afraid it was going to ruin the main event of SummerSlam. So he rallies together all the superstars. First he sends down a security team who doesn't do jack shit. So have no fear, the Job Squad's here. Here comes the Ascension.
Don't worry, everyone. Victor's here. Victor will stop them.
No, true story, though. Usually when they do these pull-aparts and they have superstars sent down to pull them apart, usually you just get the jabronis. They had pretty much everybody there. They had Kevin Owens. They had Sheamus. I think there was only 3 people I really didn't notice were there, and that's Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Randy Orton. And Orton may have even been there and I just missed him. But other than that, I'm pretty sure I saw everybody there. So that was neat. This continued all the way through a commercial break. They come back to a backstage area. They're both still brawling. Brock Lesnar flips a table. Finally, the cops have to get involved. And the voice of reason in all this chaos, the man actually talking everybody down to help cooler heads prevail, is R-Truth. Oh, this was one of my favorite segments all year.
I'm sure he knows how to talk to cops.
Okay. Brock Lesnar gets zip-tied. He gets carried off by the police, never to be seen again. I don't know if Undertaker met the same fate. Maybe he just turned off the lights and disappeared and got away from the cops. That must be a very useful skill in those situations. Well, what do you guys got to say about this, man? Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, are we excited to see this again?
Yes. They did a way better job of this booking, and just this one night. This one night did way more justice than last year with the build up to WrestleMania. It works better because they're actually fighting for something other than the streak, for one, but just the promos were on point. The beatdown was on point. It reminded me a lot of John Cena and Brock Lesnar when Lesnar first came back. They had to do the separation in the ring, but man, they just escalated that by 10 by bringing everyone out there for tonight. So it's a shame that they didn't possibly bring him back at some other point during the night to continue the brawling. I mean, we saw Brock get in an ambulance at some point, but I was really hoping that he would take that ambulance back. They had an ambulance off to the side. I was assuming that's what they were doing. They didn't show him getting into it, but
why would he get put in the ambulance? Maybe it was a paddy wagon.
Paddy wagon, that might have been it. But just imagine him just strolling up in the paddy wagon, just yeah.
I'm so happy I just got to say paddy wagon on my wrestling show.
Good for you, yeah.
Yeah. Silent Window Doom saying that black SUV pulls into the backstage. Undertaker and Brock get out of it still fighting. That was Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose, I think, did that earlier this year, right? That was great. That's exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping almost comedy, but still serious, where the guys just keep busting in random segments and continuing their fight.
Kind of was it Cactus Jack and Triple H that did it?
Maybe? That sounds like something they probably did. I can't know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm assuming it was similar. Yeah, they're just busting through walls, busting through the Titantron. My favorite part about this whole thing was that as soon as Brock Lesnar charges down to the ring and him and Undertaker start trading fists, Michael Cole's basically like, fuck it, I'm out. And him and all the commentators.
You hear the headset drop and then everyone else is like, oh shit, good idea, bye.
Excellent. Everything on this was just so on point. I would say that the most disappointing thing about it is just that the whole show is downhill from there. It really just kind of sucked up all the energy, but it's okay. It was a fun segment. They got some build into SummerSlam, which is something they often forget to do the night after a pay-per-view. They're just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna ride the high from last night and we'll worry about the build next week. So I'm happy to have seen this. You have any other thoughts you want to add to this, guys, before we start opening up the phone lines?
I'm very happy with the direction that they're going. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. It's nice to have some direction when going into the next pay-per-view instead of just floundering for a couple of weeks. And I don't know what else you could really ask for. I think the only bad thing was the pacing of the show, and I think if they had put this maybe towards the end of the show, it would have helped it as a whole. But otherwise, I got no complaints.
I think Undertaker probably had an early bedtime.
He looks like he needs one.
Well, so does Lana, apparently. Drew, any final thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to the SummerSlam match. Hopefully this goes on last, because, man, if they really keep this intensity through the next 5 weeks, God, this is going to be a great build-up to SummerSlam.
Do you think
something that you don't see every year?
Do they need a gimmick? Could they pull out a Hell in a Cell or maybe a Buried Alive or something like that?
Honestly, I think as long as it's no DQ, you're fine.
Well, I'd prefer if it was a street fight.
I don't know. We're not doing this.
I don't think they'll pull out Hell in a Cell, mainly because Hell in a Cell is only a couple months away, unfortunately. But
maybe they shouldn't do that. Maybe they just shouldn't do the Hell in a Cell paper.
Maybe they could do a last man standing match in a sort of way if they keep on doing the brawling thing as a way to finish it, do something along those lines. But I wouldn't expect them to pull out a cage. If they did something with Lesnar, it would be a different stipulation that they've done before. So,
well, whatever it is, if Brock loses, I'm going to be pissed.
Which you almost have to assume that's why they would do this, right? Undertaker comes back, gets his revenge, gets the one-up back on him for taking the streak from him. Would it really make sense to have Undertaker come back just to lose to him again?
It's a money match, and to be quite honest, I'm not okay with Undertaker beating Brock Lesnar. I don't think it's realistic. I think you've built Brock Lesnar up to a point where he probably needs a win against a guy like an Undertaker again just to heal some of the damage he's taken. I mean, he's lost back-to-back now.
Well, he technically hasn't lost. He's never been pinned or tapped out or anything.
He's still not won, though.
You're right. He didn't win at WrestleMania, and he won via DQ last night. Lillian said so.
That is true.
Yeah.
What if Silent One Doom saying, what if he loses by crazy supernatural means? What you could do is like have Undertaker lose and then like shed the supernatural gimmick, go into like another old man gimmick, old man American Badass.
I'm telling you, midlife crisis Undertaker is the next best thing for him to do.
He looks like he's at end of life crisis. What are you talking about?
I want Brock to drop that line he dropped on Hogan, parties over grandpa, and just fuck him up.
Oh no. Didn't Hogan get like really butthurt about that line?
Yeah, that was great. That's why I now and again go back and listen to that line just because I know it upset Hogan.
Oh.
Is that from the birthday celebration they did for him?
Yeah, that was it.
That sounds about right. I remember they had a bunch of old timers in the ring too. They had like Mr. Wonderful and Jimmy Hart.
Oh, they had Piper and
Piper.
I bet as well.
Man, you want to talk about someone who looks bad for their age? Piper.
Piper never looked
doesn't
really
even have a podcast anymore.
Kicked himself off a show to see that old fuck.
He really doesn't understand how the internet works.
Okay. Let's start opening up the phone lines again. If you're listening out there and you want to get your voice heard, dial in area code 760-512-7247. The number to dial, or press the Skype icon at the top of the page. We got a lot of callers, so I'm going to ask you all to be patient. We're going to try to get everyone on here, though. First one we're going to bring on is from the 646 area code. Caller from 646. You're live on the Raw Post Show. I believe this is our friend Aisha. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. What's up, guys?
What's shaking, Aisha?
Hey.
What's on your mind tonight? We got Taker and Lesnar is the big story. Is that what you're excited about?
Yeah, like you said, it was a great segment. I was enjoying it. It was hilarious to see Brock and Undertaker fight. And, oh, God, Undertaker, he's that old, man. Like, calm down a little bit. But, yeah, I would say, I don't know, because at first I didn't want him to see in that SummerSlam, but after seeing that Raw, I kind of have, like, mixed feelings about it. Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Who do you think is going to win in this? I mean, it seems like almost like an impasse where you have to have Undertaker win, but you can't really have Lesnar lose either. It's a tough situation. What would you do with this?
Yeah, because if Lesnar loses, just like will lose his credibility as being a beast or whatever. And for Undertaker, I don't know. This is why you shouldn't book matches like this. I don't know.
Because it's going to get people excited. That's why. The crowd was buzzing so much tonight.
I know. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't blame him. It's Undertaker. How long has he haven't been on Raw since, like...
Well, he definitely wasn't on for the build to WrestleMania this year, so I would guess the last time he was on Raw was during the build to WrestleMania 30, and he was probably only there, 1 or 2 weeks during that? So hasn't been much.
So, I mean, I don't want to say the match will be good because going back to WrestleMania 30, but Undertaker looks healthy, and I guess it should be good. And I'm kind of upset because I could go to SummerSlam because I live in New Jersey, but they're sold out.
Oh, they sold out so fast.
Yeah, and I could have gone to NXT, but the ringside, like when I was looking, like they said at 12 they'll start the tickets selling, and when I looked, a Ticketmaster, it was already sold out. I'm like, what? The ringside tickets already sold out in the lower bowl. So then they said now the nosebleed seats are open, and I was like, I don't want to get nosebleeds, but I'm still thinking about it still going. But
I'm in the top bowl, but I'm in the very front row. I got pretty good seats, I would say. I'm pretty happy with it. I just want to be there. I just want to be a part of that crowd. I want to see what's going on in the building. I've never been to Barclays Center. So I'm excited to go check that one. I did really want to go to SummerSlam. Myself and Mr. Mango tried to get some tickets, but it was a futile effort. They went out so fast, and then we tried doing the StubHub game, but they were gouging that.
Oh yeah,
it was not worth it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my seats
are ridiculous.
They are. My seats that I got for Takeover, I paid about $40 a piece for. Pretty happy with that. I looked up on StubHub roughly what the same seats would be, and they were like $130 on there. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! It's gone up 3 times in value. Oh, it's horrendous.
They're such rip-offs, like really.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone wants to make money. I mean, the same thing happened to us when we went to Comic-Con. That people take these tickets. Let's not talk ticket politics. Let's talk wrestling. What else do you think about Raw tonight? We're getting a few weeks into the Divas Revolution. What do you think about what went down with them? And we got to actually see some of them wrestle the last couple of nights. Who's looking good to you?
Definitely the NXT women. Sorry, fellas. I'd rather be off my TV. Oh, I cannot stand Brie wrestling. Oh my god.
Don't you watch Total Divas?
Shut up, Mo. Shut up.
Didn't you say you watched Total Divas? So I thought you would like the Bellas. Aren't they like the stars of that?
No, I'm not bitch on Total Divas. I don't like Bellas.
Isn't that the point? Like, the show is called Total Divas. I mean, that might as well just call the show Catty Bitches.
Exactly. I mean, I'll say this. I kind of like Nikki, but Brie, I can't stand that bitch. I can't stand her.
Whoa.
Yeah, but so far I'm liking this Divas Revolution. Sasha and Becky and Charlotte are killing it, and I just can't wait to see more. And you can tell that WWE is very high on Charlotte. You can tell.
Absolutely. I mean, they've gotten behind these multi-generation stars before. Very, very rarely does it work out. I hope for the best for her. I mean, we've seen it work out with someone like Randy Orton. But we've also seen people like Ted DiBiase Jr. or even worse, Manu. So hopefully she ends up like the former, not the latter. Aisha, we got a lot of callers here, so I have to cut this one a little short, but I do want to ask you for your high point and low point for tonight's Raw.
High point, definitely the Lesnar and Taker ball, and low point, Rollins. I'm gonna be honest. I cannot. I know. I cannot stand Rollins as champion. I'm sorry. He's probably the worst WWE champion there is. I'm sorry.
I've actually been seeing this opinion pop up a lot because everyone just doesn't like the way he's been out there. You know, he's been made to look very, very weak. And there's something to be said for cowardly heel champions, but he has just looked like a worthless almost. It's like the heel version of Rey Mysterio when he was champion.
Yeah, true.
All right, Aisha. Fun talking to you as always. You have a good night. We'll catch you on another night.
All right, you too, guys.
All right. Always fun talking to everyone here on the Raw Post Show. Most interactive post-Raw experience available. Dial in if you want to get your voice heard. Area code 760-512-7247. Of course, the chat room is open for everyone to go in there and chat as well. We got people in there talking about Lucha on the ground. I don't know what the heck that is.
I don't know about that either. I'm more concerned about Rey Mysterio was a heel at one point, so I must have missed that.
No, I'm saying that Seth Rollins is basically a heel Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay. I thought I missed something. I was like, oh god, did I miss that time? Rey Mysterio was a heel? I want to say that.
They definitely should have done that. And also, people out there listening, you could tweet to us at Raw Post Show like our good friend Dane Quid did earlier. And, of course, the Facebook group, The Megamaniacs. We got a comment in there from Brian the Brain saying, poor Rusev. A lot of people seem upset about the ending of tonight's show. So why don't we actually transfer a little talk about this? We had it advertised throughout the night. Our main event for the show was going to be a 6-man tag. It was Kevin Owens, Sheamus, and Rusev. I have notes against John Cena, Randy Orton, and Cesaro. So, of course, when we first saw this, we're thinking, great, another 6-man tag to end on Raw. Just typical thing. Where's Teddy Long? Is he hiding in the back laughing at us? And it was, for the most part, just a bland 6-man tag. Kevin Owens was doing his usual shtick. He acted like he was going to start the match and then tagged out, and eventually he walked out on his team halfway through the match. Babyfaces end up getting the victory, but not until there was some shenanigans going on with there was Summer Rae dressed up like Lana, and then Lana came down and brawled with her, and then there was some other chaos going over it got really chaotic. Not like chaotic in our chat room, but just insane.
No.
Ended with an RKO. I think this RKO was very much out of somewhere, though, so you can't really give it too much kudos. Babyfaces celebrate as we go off the air. Wago, you said you had something really exciting to say about this, so what's your thoughts on it?
I love this match. I don't know what everyone was getting their panties up in a bunch. Since when is Rusev's career important? It died a long time ago.
This is true.
You might as well have some fun with him, and tonight was fun. That match was fun. I don't know what else you'd expect from that. You got to see all the heels act up and watch their egos get the better of them and march out, and that allowed the babyfaces to have a 3-on-1. You getting your ass kicked by 3 guys? That doesn't make you look weak.
No.
So I thought it was great, and everyone got their shit in, as some people like to say, and it was a fun match. I don't know what the problem was. Kevin Owens didn't look weak because he never got beat because he left, and so did Sheamus.
Salwin the Doom is saying it doesn't make the faces look like faces, though. The faces have been kind of blending the rules since Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan used to do the eye raking and all that kind of stuff. Probably even before him, but that's the first one I remember babyface that was way on top and bent the rules to whenever he wanted to. It's not like John Cena hasn't been above breaking the rules or taking advantage of something that went in his favor. I mean, it was just, what was it, last week or was it the week before, where they had that triple threat to determine the number one contender, and the whole time during the match, John Cena's sitting there talking, whoever's going in there, they're going to be all beat up, and I'm going to be fresh, and I'm going to take them like nothing.
Sure he talked about it. I thought he just mumbled it.
I may have increased the excitement about it a little bit, but it's the same basic idea.
Okay.
Sound Doom saying, that was greatly douchey. It was, but it's it's not so black and white anymore. Things have grayed a lot. I mean, Wago, you have anything you want to add to that?
But really, what did they do which was heelish?
I guess because they're taking advantage of a situation like that.
What, are they meant to not wrestle the match?
I don't know. Like, two of them supposed to walk off to the side and be like, oh no, we're just gonna make this a 1-on-1, guys.
Yeah, instead they had fun with it, and they pandered to the crowd, and the crowd ate it up.
The crowd did eat it up. I think,
I ate it up.
I think my issue with the match was, I don't know. I thought it was a good match, but it wasn't even the Summer Rae and Lana thing that bothered me. I think the thing was they could have, if they really wanted to, Rusev could have ended up winning the match somehow, in some way, and it would have done more for him than if the faces won. I think that they could have done differently, but
it's a random match on Raw. I mean, frankly, in 2 months from now, are you going to remember this random 6-man tag loss that Rusev took? Or are you going to remember what happens at SummerSlam for him? Because that's way more important.
Well, Tony won't because Sheamus was in it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's for one. But then any random match Cesaro has on Raw, am I supposed to remember it in a few months' time? Because, everyone always says, oh, this match that he wins, he's going to get some big push, and he never does. And everyone forgets about that one time that he got a push.
Those are memorable matches that he had. People remember those matches he had with John Cena a few weeks ago because they were kick-ass matches. This was just a throwaway 6-man tag.
But if Rusev was able to overcome the odds and beat a former 17-time world champ and a 12-time world champ in a 1-on-3 handicap match, essentially, I think that could have done something for him. Am I wrong by thinking that? And Cesaro is not really much of a player, but he is a former champion of some sort. So I think they could have done something there. Who knows what it could have done with Rusev?
My problem here's my problem. If you did that, that makes all 3 of those baby faces look extraordinarily weak, and those 3 baby faces in particular need to look strong right now. I mean, John Cena, of course, he's the big company guy. He's your current United States champion. Cesaro, it looks like they're finally giving him a little bit of a warm up. So the guy lost, unfortunately, a lot of matches the last few weeks that he kicked ass in. So you got to keep him on the winning side for something. And I don't know why, but they had Randy Orton win last night. So they're obviously making him look good for something. So you got to have him win tonight too.
All 3 of these guys just won the night before, though. I don't think it will be that big of a deal if Rusev beat all 3 of them tonight. I mean, Cena did win 3 out of 4 matches with Rusev in 4 months. And Rusev did beat Cesaro the other week. And Randy Orton is Orton, but these guys are multiple-time champions. I think if Rusev was able to overcome the odds, I think he could have done something. Who knows if it will of. But I think that was a missed opportunity. But I still enjoyed this segment for what it was. I just think that they could have done something, but they didn't.
Indeed. Any final thoughts about our main event tonight, fellas? Oh, fantastic.
Nope.
Summer Rae looked really good. I will say that much. Doing her little on him.
Silent Wind of Doom saying, are you going to remember the match, or are you going to remember Summer Rae in a corset?
I think I'm going to remember that more than the match, to be honest with you.
Indeed.
Damn, she looks good.
It was interesting. It's the most interested I've been in this whole Lana Rusev love triangle thing they've been doing in quite some time.
And by the way, one thing I do want to comment about this match, we kind of saw the differences in the different type of women you can use in pro wrestling. You got your cat fights, and then you've got your actual Divas division. And
there is a place for both.
Definitely. It's just you don't want to put too much of the silly bullshit on there.
Oh, and another note, since we're talking about the Rusev love triangle and everything, Dolph Ziggler has, of course, been written out for the immediate storylines going forward. He's doing a movie, and a picture surfaced today, and he looks like he cut his hair again, and he's got the short brown hair where he looks like Ted DiBiase Jr.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
If I think it looks fine, I think it does. If Tony were to use those pictures for the new ones for the tournament that he's doing, I think Dolph's got a shot.
To be fair, we've been really making fun of how douchey Dolph Ziggler looks. He could use a new image. So
yeah,
if this
but
is
not
something
that one.
If he does it and he changes his character a bit to go with it as well, like he's been wearing the suits more and stuff like that, maybe it'll work.
Here's the thing. I think he might look okay with short hair, but not the hairstyle he had last time.
I think the way it looked from the pictures, I thought that it looked fine. I think it goes. If
it looked a little bigger.
You do the storyline with Lana.
Yeah, the hair was a little thicker.
If you do the storyline with Lana, yeah, it's a little thicker. Like Lana's like making him become a man, pretty much. I think, shorter hair is like the business attire type of thing.
That's it. Yeah, Lana took him to like a fine tailor and got him a nice suit. Then she took him to the barber, got him a real fucking haircut. She made him get rid of all of his patches and old Rock Band t-shirts. Like, Lana's cleaning Dolph Ziggler up. And then she's just going to break his heart and go back to Rusev. Oh, this is going to be great.
Oh, you know what will make this perfect? If fucking Rusev throws Dolph Ziggler off the stage in a wheelchair.
And then, like, they have a segment where Dolph Ziggler's in the ER and he, like, sees his buddy Zach. It's like, sup?
Even better, you have him, like, change a tire and he just gets attacked by Rusev again.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was awesome.
2012. Lil Cena. Lil Cena.
All right, fellas. I think it's time we open up the phone lines to another caller. Again, lots of folks there. Appreciate y'all waiting patiently. If you out there want to get your voice heard, dial the number area code 760-512-7247. Get yourself in line or press the Skype icon at the top of the page. And the next caller we're bringing in used the Skype icon option. It's a good friend of the show, common caller, and his name is Silent Wind of Doom. What's up, Silent Wind of Doom?
NWA is getting a movie.
And yeah, it's exciting. I wonder who's playing Ric Flair.
As you were leading up to that, I was looking up at the TV and they're doing an NWA movie. Cool.
Yeah, who's playing Ric Flair?
The other one, the black one.
What?
What? I'm not going to say what it stands for, but holy crap, I had a fun time tonight. Undertaker was doing crazy things.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, you went out and did something not watching Raw.
No.
You had fun watching Raw. Impressive. Okay.
I've been following, been just missing stuff. I finally get to watch Raw tonight. And
I once missed stuff
it live. I actually watched it live, and I realized how fatiguing it actually is to sit there and watch the show.
Dude,
once the second Divas
3
match started,
hours.
I was checked out as soon as the second Divas match started. I couldn't care anymore. I started playing computer solitaire. That's how bored I was.
You could have played like a real video game. You played solitaire.
I still wanted to listen to it in the background, so I knew what was going on. But I know the old school conventional wisdom is don't let them touch until the match happens. But that was pretty freaking awesome tonight.
Well, they already fought, so you don't have to follow that anymore.
That's true.
But you excited for SummerSlam then? You're excited for this clash of Undertaker and Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm hoping that Undertaker's in better shape, and that he's not going to crap at himself this time, and maybe we'll get a better match. It's like, hey, we get a do-over for that thing that everyone said was horrible. It's great. It doesn't suck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it will suck.
Well, I do think that both of them are capable of a better match in general, and Brock Lesnar has gotten healthier since then. Undertaker looks like he's gotten healthier since then. There is the story of Undertaker suffering a concussion during that match, allegedly. So
yeah,
that's I'm open-minded to seeing another match. And at the very least, the electricity that's in the air when these two guys are going to trade blows, that's fun enough just to watch.
To be fair, Undertaker was able to get an above-average match out of Bray Wyatt, and if he's able to do that, I think he's able to get something good out of Brock Lesnar, hopefully.
Touche. What were you going to say, Window Doom?
Yeah.
That is how you make schoolers look like bosses. The entire locker room had to separate these two guys and still failed for like 10 minutes to keep these guys away from each other. That's how you make someone look intimidating. Someone look powerful.
And when like Triple H first asks them to do it, like everyone's like, what? No, I don't want to do that. And he's like, hey, listen, I know what I'm asking you to do. I know I'm asking you to get between two of the scariest guys here. But do it or you're fired.
Pretty much.
I
should have just said that.
With other stuff, the Divas were pretty good. I'm very sad. I thought that once Brie and Nikki got together, we would never hear the Brie Mode theme song again. I thought they just used the old. But no, today I was very. Well, I'll get to that later. The Wyatt family's together. That's good. I'm very happy to see that. Did anyone else hear the during Bray's promo, one single person very clearly just scream out, "Go kill yourself"?
I think Sean.
Yeah, Sean was really excited that he heard that. Yeah, fans. They say stuff.
I didn't realize how much I missed Luke Harper's crazy yell until tonight when I heard him do it. I was like, oh yeah.
And even just like standing behind Bray Wyatt with his big bug eyes, it adds a lot to Bray Wyatt's image having him standing there.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Bray took Byron Saxton's chair, because at least we know that he can stand for an entire show, so he would be fine.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about our divas? That's been the other question I've been asking people, because that's been the big story from last week's show. So we all want to know what the follow-up is 1 week later. They even got a match last night at Battleground. How you feeling about it now?
I like seeing the new faces. I think they're talented. I think they did all right last night, especially since I consider Brie to be one of the weakest in terms of wrestling. And they didn't do too bad a job doing the triple threat match with her. She didn't look too bad. I'm going to give credit to the other two because I have no faith in her in making her look better. But I thought they did very good. I probably could have cared so much more about the second match if it didn't happen in the last hour.
You really think Brie's not that good of a wrestler? Because I've honestly thought that her and Nikki have improved a lot.
Yeah, there was a point where I thought Brie was the better one.
Yeah.
I
remember the Brie and
they...
Stephanie match was amazing. Well, not amazing, but it was pretty good as well, considering you're working with Stephanie McMahon.
I found since they gave Nikki the title that she's been better. She's just been kind of the big powerhouse, almost similar to an Undertaker, just punching people. And I thought she's looked good. I haven't seen Brie do. I don't know. The few times I've seen Brie wrestle, I just kind of cringed as I watched it.
You want to know what the issue is with that? I think they. I don't think they were giving the main roster divas a chance there for a little bit.
Oh, that's what happened. They didn't get a chance.
There's really only one part where I cringed, and it was during their match last night. There was a part where Brie got knocked off of the apron, and she was supposed to like land onto Nikki and Foxy. But I guess they were a little too close, or she jumped a little too high or something, and they toppled backwards, and I swear Brie was going to die falling backwards from that. Like she luckily just like tucked herself up and landed on her back and not on her head and neck, because if she did, she was done for, because she's like a freaking twig. My goodness. Silent Window Doom. Big controversy tonight over the main event. What did you think about it?
I don't know. It felt Cesaro could have just gone over and pinned him and it would have been over. I didn't think that they needed to beat on him for like 5 minutes and then pin him. I think he was pretty much done anyway. That's the only thing that I do feel like it was kind of heelish to just...
A little excessive.
I can understand if Rusev had been like beating up Randy and Cesaro in the background, but have they even met before today?
No, I think they really only have beef with Cena.
Yeah, so it seemed like an odd thing, but it was still fun to watch. That's just the only thing that kind of felt off. It felt they looked like jerks, like Cena did last week, but it still just makes you sit there and laugh. Like, yeah, this is a good guy.
All right, Silent Window Doom, let's wrap this up with your high point and low point for tonight's Raw.
High point is the Under and Lesnar beating on each other. Low point, I'm worried that Cena. I'm worried that they're going towards Cena being the challenger for SummerSlam against Seth.
That is that was a little bit of a worry. And we're going to talk about more a little bit on the show later about that. But we're going to keep moving along here. Silent Window Doom. We got lots of other callers and lots of other topics to get to. Always appreciate you calling in, though. Hopefully we'll hear from you again soon. You have a good night, dude.
You too.
All right. Oh, I just hung up on him. I know he likes to hang out here and listen on afterwards. Sorry, Silent Window Doom. Call,
damn it.
Call back in. I'll leave you on there next time. Oh, you can't hear me. We're going to get back to callers in just a moment. I just want to transition back into one topic for us here on the panel, and that is the Divas. We're 1 week into the Divas Revolution. Last week we had not one, not two, but 3 NXT Divas injected into the WWE Divas division via Stephanie McMahon. We saw Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks make their debuts on screen. They just had a little bit of a brawl last week, but last night, and this, unfortunate to say, may have been their luck because of Ryback getting injured. We didn't have the Intercontinental title match, so they decided to insert a Divas match. And we got to see Sasha Banks and Charlotte wrestle with Brie, and they had a damn good Divas match for a pay-per-view, probably the best one in this year by far. And then tonight we got to have not one but 2 Divas matches. We had Charlotte versus Brie Bella, and later on the night we had a tag match with Becky Lynch and Paige against Sasha Banks and Naomi. Both of these, the NXT Divas, coming out looking the strongest. Charlotte winning with her figure 8 submission, and in the tag match, Sasha Banks getting Paige into the bank statement. So, what did you guys thinking? Like, we're a week into this. Are you still favorable on this? I know a lot of us were taking a wait-and-see approach to it to see how they follow up on it. What's on your guys' minds? Is it still looking good for these girls? Who's looking the best? What's running through your heads?
I'm sorry if you just heard that. I was slapping a mosquito on my arm. I'm sorry, but continue.
Well, now you're wasting more time telling us about it.
I'm sorry.
Personally, I found it underwhelming, and that's not to say it wasn't good, but you get my expectations to one level and you give me something else. I can't help but be underwhelmed. The match last night was good. I don't think it was great, and I went in there expecting more because of what I've seen from NXT. So maybe that was my own fault for getting my expectations too high.
Do you think maybe they're holding back because they don't want to put it all out in front? Like maybe holding up for whatever big match they have at SummerSlam?
Maybe that is a possibility. And what else I was going to say is there's the case of that they've kind of got to breed the old guard of divas out and bring in the new guard. So there's going to be a lot of shit mixed in between this before it gets better.
It is kind of weird that they've injected so much. I'm using that word a lot tonight. Injected. They've brought in a lot of these old divas to get involved in this story, and some of them I really wouldn't have expected, like Tamina and Foxy. Like, are these really representatives of the old guard we really need to have in there? Wasn't like Brie and Nikki enough? No.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think there's too many divas in this feud, but if it creates buzz, it creates buzz, I guess.
That's true.
Drew, any actual thoughts, Dad? Or you want to smack any more mosquitoes?
The mosquito smacking is done, but when it comes to I'm enjoying what they're putting out in front of me when it comes to the Divas division. It's been a hell of a lot better than the past 7 months, so I really can't complain from that aspect. But I'm actually kind of afraid that they'll make either the divas on the divas like Brie and them, make them look strong and make the NXT stars look weak at some point, or they'll make the NXT stars strong and the divas look weak. Because I'm hoping they'll find the fine medium. Because I personally don't like how the NXT divas, they've won all their matches since they've come up, which makes sense in a sort of way. But what's the whole point of this revolution if one side just really wins the entire time? And I know there's divas on each team, and then there's NXT stars on each team, but I do want to see like the Bellas and Alicia Fox being able to get the upper hand at some point. Because if this is just a one-sided ordeal, then I don't think this storyline will be as good as it possibly can be.
Especially from the start, because they have to be able to overcome this, right?
Yeah.
And there has been, a long-running storyline where Paige has been struggling to overcome. But they got this three-way thing going, and I don't really know, like, what the end game is for that. Like, so what? Then 3 girls are just going to stand on top? Who's going to hold the title? Like, are they going to be upset about who has that? And who's the leader of which one? Who's the leader of Team Bad? That's the one I'm really confused about.
Naomi.
I think it's Tamina. Oh, wait, no.
It's wow, really? It's definitely Naomi.
No,
they come out to
See, I was going to say it's Sasha Banks.
Whose theme music are they coming out to?
Well, Naomi's is the one they know.
Yeah, the Tamina. What's here? Tamina's Snuka remix with dubstep.
Her Snuka remix.
Oh, didn't they call her like the wrong name on commentary tonight?
I think JBL called her Tina.
Yeah, she was real pissed off about that.
She was, but she also was like, "No, it's Tamina." And then she like waited a few seconds. She's like, "Snuka," like really soft, like not as pissed off. And she's like, "Oh yeah, my last name's Snuka too."
Fucking. What is Jimmy Snuka to her? Is it her father or?
It's her dad.
Yeah. I'm a suck for her.
Tamina's been on the roster for a while now, hasn't she?
Oh my gosh, she came in with the Usos, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a while. That's gonna be like 5 years now, right? At least.
I think they've been there since at least 2010.
My gosh.
Well, actually, the first real team that Tyson Kidd and D.H. Smith feuded against was the Usos, so that's how far you're going back.
Holy shit, really?
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought it was like Priceless or something.
No, like the first after they got the titles, it might not have even like it was. I think it was their like first ever run. They had the Usos debut on Raw like 2 weeks into it, I believe.
Wow, man, there's a lot of people who've just been around for a long time. I was realizing that before too about the Matadors. Not just as the Matadors, but even as Primo and Epico. They've been there for over 4 years, or almost 4 years.
Well, what you got to remember about Primo? He was like the undisputed tag champions with Carlito once.
Oh yeah, dude, they freaking beat what was it? Was it Jomo and Miz on the pre-show of WrestleMania to become the undisputed tag team champions? That's insane.
Isn't it sad that was also the pre-show of that Mania? Was that 25 or 26?
Fun thing about that, a lot of people actually got a refund for WrestleMania because they complained and said that the tag match was advertised for the main card, but they didn't get it.
Really? Oh man, yeah. I should have did that for 29 because they advertised that sweet Dancing Bears match. Finally got to use that reference again. Because who knows if we're ever going to talk about what the hell was their actual name?
Planet Funk.
The Funkosauruses. What was the tag team name? No, they actually had a name. Tons of Funk. Oh, that's what it was.
Tons of Funk. There we go.
That was a terrible gimmick. All right, let's bring on the next caller. We're going to open up the phone lines to one of the 609 numbers because we got 2 people calling in for it. It's time to get some real WWE talk, guys. Let's bring on 609-462. Who's there, 609-462? Oh, they hung up. All right, let's try 609-658. 609-658, you there?
Yes, I'm here. What's up?
What's shaking, dude? Which one's this in again? Is this Chanel or Jaden?
No.
Chanel, what's up, dude? What's on your mind tonight?
Chanel. I thought Raw was pretty good tonight. Divas did a good job on Aside for Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, pretty good show.
It was a good show indeed. Are you excited for SummerSlam now? I mean, it's only the first night building to it. Have they already got you hooked?
Not yet. There's really only one big match advertised, and we're still not sure who's going to face Seth Rollins. It was hinted that John Cena may face him, and that's a big concern for me because I don't want to see that.
It is, we have gotten really blessed to not have had John Cena in that main event scene since he got that U.S. title. It would seem like a shame just to slot him in there for what's supposed to be one of the biggest shows of the year. Do you have something you want to say to that, Drew?
Well, I know who the number one contender is for his title. And his name is John Cena. We need that sound effect on the board.
I will get that added.
Sweet.
Chanel, what else is on your mind after this night's edition of Raw? Anything stick out to you besides that?
I don't know what happened to Ryback. Do you guys know what happened to him?
He has a staph infection.
Full-blown staph infection.
Oh.
He has that CM Punk staph infection, to be exact.
Yeah, it's okay. He's just going to take a few Z-packs. He'll be back soon.
Yeah, don't worry. He might complain about it, though.
He'll be right back. Don't you worry.
And I felt like we made that joke before. It's so terrible.
Well,
Sony
we made it again.
The big guy.
The big joke. the bad joke. Chanel, what else is on your mind from Raw, man?
Nothing else really. Undertaker and Brock Lesnar did a good job, and after that, I got kind of bored. But
yeah, that seems to be a popular consensus as well. All right, man. Your high point and your low point for Raw.
High point: Brock Lesnar and the Undertaker's brawl all over the arena was fantastic. And low point, I mean, nothing specific. Just like, I guess the rest of the night.
It was a bit of a lull. Besides that, they kind of blew their load with that, and it was kind of quiet afterwards. All right, Chanel, we're going to keep moving along here. Always good to hear from you, man. You have a good night. Keep up the real WWE talk.
You too.
All right. We're going to keep moving along here. Always happy to hear all you cool cats calling in if you want to get your voice heard on the Raw Post Show. We still have about 50 minutes left here. We still have a lot of stuff to talk about. We might actually reach the 2-hour mark on this show. Dial in with your phone, 760-512-7247, or dial in with the Skype icon at the top of the page. Of course, Twitter is open as well. At Raw Post Show is the place to tweet to. And on Facebook, we have our official Facebook fan group, The Megamaniacs. So, get yourself involved with those. We're going to keep moving along the conversation with us panelists here. We've already hit a lot of the big major topics, so we're going to start touching on some of the smaller things that happened tonight. We had the New Day in a tag match against Los Matadores.
I think it was the Primetime Players.
Oh, was
the
New
Day?
Right. It was.
New Day wasn't a segment, though. You were right about
all these
that.
tag teams look the same to me, dude. I'm sorry. Tag team division has never been weaker. It's Primetime Players against Los Matadores. The New Day interrupts for a distraction. So the New Day was there, allowing Los Matadores to get a freaking pinfall victory. Shame on none of us for having Los Matadores on our Fantasy League teams. Could have gotten some good points here. They won with a backcracker, which I was happy to see. Carlito's old move. And tag team division still looks like shit. Who do you guys got to add to that?
I think it's weird that they chose Los Matadores to win this match. I mean, you don't really expect them to win, but you think that eventually they would have put the Lucha Dragons in a spot. I think when they came up to the main roster, we thought around this time is when that they would be starting to be in the feuds for the titles, and they're just on SmackDown, if that at all. So
have they had an actual feud at all yet?
I think the only time that when they had the Elimination Chamber tag match, I would count that maybe, but I wouldn't even go that far for that. So I really don't know, to be honest with you. Not that I could think of.
Huh.
It's crazy.
Poor Kalisto. That's one of the most talented guys they have on their payroll and doing absolutely freaking nothing.
I feel bad for him because he spent a lot of time in fucking developmental. Like, longer than he should have.
Yeah. I feel bad for Sin Cara, too, mainly because he has to go out there and act like he wants to be out there each day with his, like, half-ass lucha stuff.
He looks so awkward when he does it too.
Just think about him though. He's he's trained to be his own wrestler, his own character, and he's got stuck with this fucking Sin Cara shtick, which they used him once to replace the old one, and the old one fucked up again, so they just forced the gimmick back on him.
Wow, that's probably the best thing that ever happened to him. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
do you honestly think he would still be there if he was doing the dumb Vato Hunico gimmick?
I'm not saying it's not bad for him. What I'm saying is it's probably not the happiest role for him.
I would think he's ecstatic. I mean, it's like a really interesting luchador type character that was based on one of the most famous Mexican luchadors ever.
On that note, Sin Cara's mask these days, like the real Sin Cara or / Mystico, he's kind of combined both of his masks together, and it looks cool as hell now.
He does. I've seen those. I think he's supposed to actually wrestle Alberto Del Rio near me sometime in a couple months, assuming they still know where Alberto Del Rio is, if he didn't go back home.
Well, you can't check there.
Silent One the Doom in the chat room saying, am I the only one that thinks the New Day's relaxation clothes look better than their ring gear? No, actually, I think their jumpsuits are really cool. Though, especially those ones they had on tonight that were like the navy blue and the really dark orange. Looked good. You guys agree? Disagree?
I'm kind of indifferent.
Fashion tips from you guys for the New Day?
More hair gel and more pink shirts.
I don't know. The only thing the fucking New Day, the one thing I saw was when they were doing their millions of dollars things, but doing it, saying New Day instead. Just like Kofi had this weird fucking face whenever he was doing it, and it's always someone new each week when they do something. Someone always does something that's like, what is he doing? Because I remember Big E doing something along those lines a couple weeks ago. So New Day's fucking awesome, and it's a shame that like Paden said, this is tag team division's weak again, unfortunately. So,
and there's talent
there.
They're
the standouts, and they don't even hold the title.
Not that I don't think that there aren't tag teams there that can do stuff. They're just not doing anything.
Push them.
Like I even think there's room for Los Matadores to do cool things. That's why I'm happy they got this victory today. But no one's doing anything. No one matters. No one has any distinct things going on. So, your tag team champions are like at the weakest they've ever been in their careers. And that's not necessarily to say bad things, but when you think of like how great primetime players were once upon a time, the run they're having now, I'm sorry, it's just been terrible.
You know what it does though? It solidifies a spot for the Usos because they fucking need those guys right now.
Oh my goodness.
They are the tag team division.
So when around 3 years ago, when the Usos were actually just like jobbers for the most part, if they appeared at all, did you guys ever really imagine them ever becoming like the face of the tag team division?
No, I did the moment they came in. Are you kidding? Two like young Samoan studs with the perfect family bloodline, a lot of drive. The moment they came in, I was like, these guys are going to be huge for the tag team division.
Honestly, I thought Smith and Tyson were going to be around for a lot longer.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought they would have been like a pillar of the tag team division for 10 years.
Probably would have seen Tyson more if he didn't get injured every fucking year. So it's unfortunate as well. It's just he's like Davey at this point.
Indeed. Let's talk about another match that we had here. Big Show versus Miz. Miz was complaining to Triple H about what happened last night at Battleground when Big Show came out and knocked him out. So Triple H made a match between the two of them tonight. Not much goes on here. Big Show knocks Miz out, drags him to a corner, lifts himself up to the second rope, and just leaps and flattens the Miz. I was expecting to see organs popping out of Miz's mouth or something after Big Show got up. Big Show takes a mic, calls out Ryback. So I don't know if they're going to continue this triangle thing or if this is basically like Miz being pushed out of this. Now it's just going to be Big Show and Ryback. But, man, flying Big Show is still scary.
I thought flying Ryback was pretty awesome.
No,
when I saw
flying Ryback is fun. I think that's fun to watch. Flying Big Show is scary. Like I'm terrified for the person there. I'm terrified for the ring to let go, and then shrapnel's gonna fly out to all the audience members at ringside.
Anytime I see Big Show going up on the top rope, I just immediately think of when Brock Lesnar did the superplex off it, and it just broke the ring. So every time I see him going up there. So it's like, oh my God, please. I don't want the rest of this Raw to be slanted for the most part with the ring. Kind of like what they did with Vengeance a few years ago.
Did they do that?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they actually brought the ring back up, but I remember Big Show, the ring collapsed for the Mark Henry Big Show match.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cena and Alberto Del Rio had a last man standing match. So I bet they didn't use the ring too much then, but I know the posts were messed up, so the ropes weren't up for it. So
Yeah,
I think part of the ring was slanted.
Sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar. I don't think we have much more to say about this. Yeah, I mean,
no, we don't.
It's unfortunate this match didn't get to happen last night because this was already. It's been fun, but it was starting to get to a stale point. It was probably going to lead to SummerSlam anyway, so whatever. Hopefully Ryback is well enough to be back in time for that SummerSlam match, though, because I do not want to wait for this to go out to Night of Champions or whatever it is after SummerSlam. We had a fun segment backstage. I just want to mention this because we already talked about Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and Undertaker and all that, but we have Triple H and Stephanie backstage checking out this John Cena painting by Rob Schamberger, who they also did a WWE.com segment last night where there was another John Cena painting, not that same one, but there was one where Rob Schamberger was painting this and Eden Styles, whoever was interviewing him, and Kevin Owens comes up and he's like, "Hey, it's a real nice painting." He's like, "Oh yeah, I was painting it. He's the United States champion. I was painting it, as a good representative of him." And he's like, "Yeah, it's a good representative of him before the match, but you gonna make one of him after the match? Oh, here, let me help you." And Kevin Owens just takes it and smashes the painting and smashes it into all these different pieces, and he picks up like one piece of it and just tries to like place it back onto the easel, and he's like, "Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it looks better. Hi, Eden." That's like the best part. He just like casually says hi to Eden as he's walking off.
He won't say hi to Eden anymore. He doesn't like Eden.
No, he's kind of back to forth in that, I guess. But yeah, then they showed Schamberger tonight too. They've been doing a lot with this guy, and I am so happy for him because I remember seeing him start in this project a long time ago, and he was just doing random ones of various wrestlers. He was doing more NWA stuff actually, but he got picked up by WWE. Now they're auctioning off his paintings on their website for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and he's getting TV spots, and he's doing like interactions with wrestlers too. Like, good for that guy. And if you haven't checked him out, just search for Art of Rob Schamberger, spelled the Jewish way, on Facebook.
Looks like Dr. Honigberger as well.
Exactly, just like Dr. Honigberger.
Good.
No, have you guys seen this guy before? Or is this your first time being exposed to Rob Schamberger?
I think it's my first time. So
I've probably seen something, but just not paid attention.
I actually have two Rob Schamberger pieces hanging right above my work desk here. As
is
I'm
that
talking about this.
Is this the Joker and Harley Quinn ones?
No, those were pieces I got from Comic-Con. The Rob Schamberger pieces I got are of CM Punk and the Undertaker. Fitting the Undertaker.
You have something with CM Punk. That's odd.
I actually have a few things, but my friend got me those for it was either my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember what it was. But it's because we went to WrestleMania 29 together, and that was the match they had there, CM Punk and Undertaker. So it's cool to have those on the frame next to each other.
They do. They put up his art on their YouTube page, right? And they do like
they have
canvas art.
Yeah, they have some kind of they have a short series they do regularly. I can't remember what it's called.
No, not thinking that, but yeah, actually I've seen some of his stuff before. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, he does really cool stuff. So I'm stoked for him. I'm happy it's getting more stuff on TV. If you have not, go find it, buy some of his prints, put it on your wall. If you're a wrestling fan, it's some awesome memorabilia to have there. Moving along the conversation here, we have what we got? We have a Bray Wyatt promo tonight. Luke Harper was back with him back there. More smack talk on the Roman Reigns, leading up to a match with Luke Harper and Roman Reigns. You think that it would be odds against Roman Reigns, but no, Dean Ambrose makes his appearance, coming down to back up Roman. Continuing me having these funny feelings about what Dean Ambrose is up to. So I'm going to keep my eye on you, Dean. Roman Reigns' story throughout this was that he got his arm hurt during the match and he had to keep fighting against it. There was also tension building with the other guys on the outside of the ring, building up until Wyatt finally interferes, causing the disqualification. All four men brawl, and that's that. I don't know what the plan is for this. Maybe a tag match, or maybe it's still going to be Roman versus Bray with Luke and Dean on the outside. Either way, I'm keeping my eye on you, Dean. I don't trust you. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I definitely have the opinion that Dean's probably going to turn heel at some point. When they do it, that's the question. SummerSlam would be a perfect time to do it. It's a big event. It's the best time to do something along those lines, and it sets up Roman versus Dean, which you can do for like the second half of the year up until Rumble, probably. So I'm interested to see if they'll bring Eric Rowan in this once he's all healed up. But I'm so glad that Luke Harper is back with Bray Wyatt. They should have never split up.
Actually, it brings up a good point here. Someone to Doom in the chat room saying the announcers called being part of the Wyatt family the high point of Harper's career. Didn't he win the Intercontinental title while being separate from them?
That is true for like a total 2 weeks, but it did happen, and WWE just doesn't like to talk about it too much for some reason.
Honestly, his backward and forth with Dolph Ziggler was fun.
I love those matches. Was it a ladder match, or there was something they had which was really
There was
really
a ladder
good.
match at TLC, but like no, I remember that ladder match being fucking brutal. Like they both, I think, I felt like one of them broke the bone or something because
the bone.
That match. I was like, I remember that match being brutal as hell. I mean, TLC was definitely not a good pay per view, but that was the one.
Oh, was that the one? Did
part of that
was
pay per view?
Did like Dolph Ziggler's nose like explode or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah,
something happened.
I think he got hit with a ladder, and I think his nose just like shattered up to high hell, and he just was bleeding everywhere. I think that's what happened during that match. Which actually reminds me, I was talking to a guy in the Mega Maniacs about Dolph Ziggler's new look, and he's like, he looks like he has a different nose. That must be why. It was from that match.
I guess so, but I just think Luke looks weird with that red jacket thing he has on now instead of the like black.
He's worn red ones before. He wore like a red flannel before. In fact, that was the original one he used to wear. He used to wear a red flannel.
I don't know. I'm just used to the other one, so I don't know. It's good for Luke. Yeah, he had no direction. Now he sort of has one. When it comes to Dean,
well, poor him. I mean, it seemed like they were reuniting him and Rowan, and then Rowan went down with injury. So like, gives him something.
This is why we all thought Rowan was the weaker one, and now we know if that's true because he got fucking injured as soon as they tried to actually push him. So,
well, you know, except for Wago, who made the defenses that Rowan was the better one. What are you thinking about that now, Wago?
He's got a nice beard.
He does have a nice beard. Indeed. It's the only thing you need to see from him behind that sheet mask.
You know what? When it comes to Dean, though, if he does turn heel, it's going to take me a while to get used to it. Because when they first split up last year, the whole Shield, that one thing that once existed, everyone thought that it was going to be Dean was going to be the one to turn heel. It didn't happen, and I didn't think I liked Dean that much as a face, but I've really enjoyed it. They haven't really used him to his potential, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm hesitant to turn him heel because I'm afraid that he'll lose his momentum, and he might be.
He's already lost.
He lost his purgatory.
He's already lost his momentum. And this guy has had so much momentum at the end of last year when him and Seth Rollins were brawling, and it's all gone. And they slightly rekindled again when they had him and Seth Rollins fight, and then he just kind of fell off and was just Roman Reigns' buddy.
They didn't give him a feud. That's for Battlegrounds. They're not giving him anything to work with. Yeah, he's helping Roman Reigns, but is he really helping that much? It looks like they're going to do a tag match.
To be fair, I'd like to say being friends with Dean Ambrose is the best thing that Roman Reigns has. It's actually turned the fans back on his side.
Yeah, that is true. That and Roman Reigns has been kicking ass in the ring.
So then
lately.
What they need to do is they need to put Dean Ambrose as best friends with John Cena. And then John Cena could get more over. Book it. Now, here's my problem. Here's my problem with turning Dean Ambrose heel in this situation is that if Dean Ambrose does go heel, he needs to talk. And he needs to talk a lot. Because I think that's his strong point, and that's where he could really excel as a heel. If he does this going in with Bray Wyatt, that means Wyatt's going to have to talk a lot. And I really don't want to listen to Wyatt talk on behalf of Dean Ambrose.
If they do something like that, he doesn't necessarily have to join the Wyatt family of some sort if he does turn heel. Just like Bray could go and do something else after SummerSlam and have Reigns and Ambrose going forward.
It definitely looks like they're building the cult thing back up for the Wyatt family. And it would make sense to inject some new blood into it. Because, there are stories that go talking about when Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family that was supposed to be a long-term story. And it never really played out that way. Maybe they'll follow up what they want to do with that with Dean Ambrose now.
I don't know if they could. He doesn't have a beard, so.
Well, he could grow one.
I think that I think that limits the
I mean, he's not
possibilities of it.
He's not you. He can grow a beard.
Hey, that's not nice.
Ferris419 saying
Speaking
Eric
of,
Rowan has a nice beard and an IQ of 143.
I do remember him saying that at one point. Did he like fix a Rubik's Cube in like 20 seconds, like off screen when someone else had it?
Sure.
God. That was actually kind of cool. CWE fucked it up again.
Yeah, all right. We got one last segment to talk about here. Just want to give one final reminder out to all of you listening. If you want to get your opinions heard, just a few minutes left to do it. Dial in area code 760-512-7247. Actually, we just had a caller pop up, so I'm going to bring them on in just a moment. But also remind you, the chat room is there. Twitter @Raw Post Show and Facebook group, The Mega Maniacs. And that caller just hung up. Jesus Christ. 954. Call in and stay on long enough for me to bring you on.
You keep on bringing them up. You got to surprise them. You can't just be like, oh hey, yeah, we're gonna bring our next. Oh God, you got to do the element of surprise on this one, Mr. Paden.
Okay, sure.
Cool.
So we're not just gonna sit here and wait. We're gonna move on to that final segment. Seth Rollins is out talking. I honestly don't remember anything he says. I know he brings in Lillian Garcia to force her to announce him as the champion still from last night. Even though Brock Lesnar won via disqualification, still champion, Seth Rollins. He's interrupted by John Cena, who comes out as excited as ever, who tells Rollins that he has a poor excuse for a champion, and that since his time as champion, he's been so poor, it's helped John Cena look stronger as the United States champion. They tease a battle, but Rollins backs away, and I'm getting a bad feeling in my stomach that we're looking at a Seth Rollins-John Cena match for the WWE title at SummerSlam, which disappoints me on a number of levels, not the least of which is that John Cena's back in the main event, which really I could stomach that, but he's been doing this United States title thing, and he should have a United States title match at SummerSlam, and that's what I'd want to see, not this.
You know what my issue with this is?
What's that?
Is that if he's going to be challenging for the WWE Championship, why the fuck did he not lose the title to Kevin Owens at Battleground?
It's a very good point. But then if he lost the title, what sense would it make for him being the number one contender?
That's what I'm going to say about this whole thing. From a booking standpoint, it makes perfect sense because I don't think there's anyone in the WWE right now that can argue that they're number one contender stronger than John Cena can. He's beaten everybody else.
The only other person would be Brock Lesnar, and he's got his focuses elsewhere.
And technically, he blew his opportunity.
When was the last time they had a number one contendership like match between multiple people for the WWE Championship? I feel like it's been a while. They could have easily done something like that to start up a feud for that going forward, possibly, maybe.
Sure, just come out, have a fatal four-way between, I don't know, Roman Reigns, Cesaro, whoever else, and
R-Truth.
Sure, why the hell not?
And maybe that's what Cesaro R-Truth were talking about.
You know, for a one-off B pay-per-view, I would give R-Truth and Seth Rollins a chance.
I mean, shit, they did it once with Cena and R-Truth, so why not?
I'm just going to go ahead and say, when R-Truth's being given the ball, he's ran with it. He's never fucked up.
Unless it had spiders on it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, from an entertainment standpoint, I mean, I guess he fucked up professionally.
Well, guys, this is what we're looking like we're getting. Cena and Rollins. Is this going to work for us?
Personally, I'm fine with this. I know a lot of people are going to be down on it, and I do admit I would have liked to see him defend the US title, but it makes the most sense, and at the end of the day, John Cena's a main eventer, and I don't think these guys are going to have a bad match. I think they're going to have a really good match.
They have. Every time they faced each other, it's been pretty damn good.
So I've got nothing to complain about. My only issue will be is if John Cena wins the title, and I don't think he will.
Yeah. If I have an issue with anything, it would be if Cena wins the title.
Should it be title for title?
That's what I was hoping they do, because Cena is a fighting champ. It would make sense, but I mean, I don't recall Kevin Owens ever putting up the NXT title during their feuds.
What if Cena fights twice? What if he has a United States title match earlier in the night? Has a hard-fought battle, but still is successful. Then he has to go to that WWE title match later in the night, and then he doesn't look as weak if he loses because he's already tired out from that first match.
I'd be perfectly okay with that, and John Cena can go, so I'm all for it.
And, they could call back to the that triple threat match they had on that Raw when he was on commentary, when he even mentioned that he's going to be stronger than
the tides have turned.
Wins. Yeah. So they could easily bring that back in the picture and like, oh yeah, let's see you do it now, Cena. Boom.
You know what pisses me off recently? I still see people actually do the whole 5-move of Doom spiel and Cena can't wrestle. Man, Cena's been like the best performer this year.
I mean,
He's up there. I'm not going to say best, but he's definitely up there.
In-ring wise, I can give you more good John Cena matches than I can for anyone else.
but look who's also look who he's in the matches with though. Kevin Owens. A lot of his matches people consider match of the year quality stuff.
You can't always say that because it was with Kevin Owens, it was with Cesaro, it was with Neville, it was with
Kane.
Stardust, it was with fucking Kane. He had a good match with Kane, so you can't say it was the other guy.
That is true. That is true. And I think and Cena likes to people like to give Cena shit, but at the end of the day, especially the past few years, Cena has really improved in ring wise, and this is a lot different than the real 5 moves of Doom Cena we had in like the 2006 and just that whole 2000s period.
And that being said, he should stick to the 5 moves of Doom, because when he does stuff outside of it, like that Hurricane Rana and that fucking awful springboard stunner, that's where the Doom really happens.
Yeah, his odd Canadian destroyer thing's a little weird too.
At least he's giving him shots. I've never pictured a day that Cena would ever do a Hurricane Rana or a springboard stunner, and they happen.
My issue is it doesn't look safe, and if it's not safe, people are going to get hurt.
It also doesn't look believable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You know what's
I'm kudos for him for experimenting, especially so deep into his career. I mean, a lot of guys, when they get to that point, they just rest on their laurels and they do their typical 1, 2, 3, 4 paint by numbers idea they have, and that's all they need to do.
Well, I think he's in a spot which is very unique to him than it has been to anyone else, just because of how long he's been in the company on top. So he's at the point now where he can pretty much try anything and he's untouchable.
Word life.
Basic fugonomics.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for all the topics that are on the show tonight. We've got a couple more things to go through here. First thing I want to do, though, who said it? I only got one who said it tonight, and it's going to be real easy. I'll be shocked if you guys don't get this one right away. Tonight's who said it is, you can't kill what won't die.
Undertaker.
Yeah. Very cool little line there. Undertaker comes in, lays down the law, and is still a fucking badass. I could deal without the eye makeup, though, and shave your back. But I wouldn't tell that to his face.
Yeah, there you go.
And the growing popular favorite commercial of the night segment. I almost actually didn't even get one. I was like completely blanked out on it until we got to the last commercial segment. I was like, oh, I can't remember which ones I saw tonight. And then I got reminded of one that I saw that I really liked. It was the AutoZone commercial for wiper blades with ninjas. It's just like a regular old AutoZone commercial talking about this woman going to buy wiper blades. And the next thing you know, there's a ninja jumping around doing stunts and like slicing water in half.
Can I say one that I really enjoyed tonight too?
Absolutely, that's what the segment's for.
Oh, cool. I forget, it was a Bratz commercial. I forget what brand it was, but it had like the guy who's like grilling, and the other guy's like a mafia member talking about how they're family now and how they do things to each other. So he hands him like a bag, and I'm assuming it has like a gun or something like that. And he's like giving him all these scenarios, like, yeah, you could probably like dig a hole somewhere and hide this. You could put it behind the washer and like put a little hole back there, just a little, so I could reach back at with a certain hand. And then there's like this van next to him that's like taking pictures of him with it, so he will get in trouble with it. I just thought it was funny because it's like, mafia man got you now, motherfucker. You stuck for life, bitch.
I've actually had that video before, or that commercial rather, as one of my favorite commercials. And you actually left out my favorite part of that whole commercial, which is the tagline for it, which is, we don't make sausage, we make family. And sausage.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like that one a lot. Wago, anything you want to add?
I enjoyed the Taco Bell commercial I saw. I don't remember the whole of it, but they made it over. One. Yeah, they made it over dramatic, and it was like and it was something along the lines of, "Bacon you can't eat is bacon you don't need."
Man,
and I'm like,
I
agree.
Between them and like, who is it, Hardee's or Arby's, whoever else is pushing the bacon. Man, bacon's making a comeback this summer. You guys remember last summer when like pretzel food was a thing? Like everyone was having like the pretzel buns and shit like that.
To be fair, there's a pretzel snack which I fucking love. They're called Gretzels, and they're just pretzels covered in chocolate, and they're just awesome.
You sure they're not Digetsels?
I wish they were. I'd eat the shit out of that.
All right, folks, let's wrap things up here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, it is the good, the bad, and the ugly, where we talk about what the best part of the show, the worst part of the show, what the most must-missed, embarrassing, god-awful part of the show was. We invite you in the chat room there to drop what your good, bad, and ugly is, and we will read them out a little bit later. But first, let me ask the hosts. Wago, what's your good, bad, and ugly for tonight's Raw?
So my good just has to be The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. They know what they wanted for their main event, and they're promoting the shit out of it. So hats off to WWE. They did a great job tonight, and I don't think people stop to commend them for a good job often enough. As far as my bad goes, I'm going to have to give it to... there wasn't too much bad on the show, but I didn't enjoy the backstage segment with Lana and Summer Rae. I thought it was kind of cheesy. And for my ugly is that I really want some Gretzels now.
Some Gretzel sprouts.
Some Gretzel sprouts, yes.
Drew, you're good, bad, and ugly for tonight.
Am I good? I have to agree with Mr. Wago, and my good will definitely be the just whole anything Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. All of that was amazing. Makes me look forward to that every single day. My bad, I think I'll just give it to the tag team division for just not giving me anything to look forward to. I remember at one point the past few years that tag team was like the division was the greatest thing going for them, and right now it's the exact opposite. My ugly would have to be the lack of Ryback notification at all. I don't even think they mentioned him once outside of Big Show being like, "I'm coming for you." They didn't like give an update of where he's at, what he's doing. They just were just like, "Yeah, that one guy that's champion." So
he's bold and sick. There's not much else to know.
Yeah, well, the big guy is where it's at.
They do those once in a while where they do like those touts or whatever, where they're on like the table and they're talking about like how their recovery is going, or they're from like the rehab center. They could have done something like that.
Touts on the table.
No, if they did anything with that, they should have replayed the one video he made where he's like talking about how his best friend is like the Big Babe, and has like a 5-time WWE champion already after like one of his surgeries he had. Because that was like the greatest thing ever.
Before I read the next good, bad, and ugly, Chase Merriman in the chat room actually brings up a good point. Nobody has mentioned that there was no Stardust tonight. Very true. Oddly weird that he wasn't there.
Yes.
King Barrett was there. He wasn't in a match, but he was in that pull apart. I don't remember seeing Stardust there, though, now that you mention it. Maybe he was there. Maybe he wasn't in makeup? I don't know.
I think I saw him. He was in makeup.
All right, well, let's going to read Silent Wind of Doom's good, bad, and ugly here. His good is The Undertaker and Brock brawl. The bad, Cena possibly challenging for the belt. And the ugly, I don't have one. Okay, I'm not reading that. He doesn't have one.
Wait, you did say that.
My good, bad, and ugly. The good is also going to go to The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar brawl. That was just awesome. My bad is going to go to all the divas that were on commentary tonight. Matches tonight between the divas were actually not half bad, but the commentary was all bad. Women should not be left on a live mic for that long. My ugly, Lana. She looked tired. Maybe she needs rest. With that, guys, we're going to wrap up things here on the Raw Post Show on Mega Powers Radio. One last moment of time will be given to each host to tell you some other fun things they got going on in their worlds that you should check out, because if you dug them here, you might dig them in those places as well. Drew, what do you got to tell the folks on your way out?
Yeah, if you want to, if you're feeling frisky enough, you could go to my Twitter, which is Drusive White. Tony's out here, so I'll just tell you to go to Fanboys Anonymous and SmartOutMoment.com. And also, Paden mentioned it earlier, but you should go to the Mega Maniacs group on Facebook. Check out all the stuff that's in there. Some great people in there. There's a live chat for Raw as well for you to talk into as well. Let people know what you're thinking as Raw goes on. So head there as well, because great cats like me and Wago and Paden alive.
Good plugs, Drew. Wago, what you got to tell the world about?
All right, for all my projects and social media links and Wago rants, just head over to stephenwago.com, and that'll take you to my SoundCloud where you can find all that lovely business.
Indeed. And folks, if you enjoyed this show tonight, you should be sure to tune back into megapowersradio.com every single Monday night following the conclusion of Raw, because we are here and we're ready to talk to y'all and listen to what y'all got to say on the most interactive post-Raw experience available, the Raw Post Show, right here on Mega Powers Radio. However, if you are busy on a Monday night and you cannot be here live, we like to make the show easily available in archive means. We are on iTunes, we're on Stitcher Radio, we're on TuneIn Radio, we're on YouTube, we're pretty much everywhere podcasts can be found. And if you want to find a nice, easy way to get to wherever you need to get to with those, head to smarkoutmoment.com, the official home of where we host the archive version of the show, where you can also find lots of other cool wrestling content, as Drew was describing. You can also support us on Patreon if you really want to help things progress for us. You go to patreon.com/megapowersradio and you can help support us for as little as $1 a month. I know all of you out there can afford that. $1 a month easily comes out of your account automatically every single month and helps keep the lights on here at Mega Powers Radio Studios, so you could hear this show continuing, the Day Span Show, the All Talk Show, and all the other awesome things that we bring to you guys. Also, join all those social media options like Drew was saying. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, and all those other fun places that you want to contact us. Until next week, folks, this has been the Raw Post Show at Mega Powers Radio. For Drew White, for Stephen Wago, and for all the other folks who couldn't be here tonight, we'll see you on next week on the Raw Post Show. Take care. See you all on the flip-flop.